Western Australia. When most people head north out of Perth, they head up the coast via Geraldton, Caravan, etc., or they go up through the Great Northern Highway. But there is another way north not too many people know about. Normally when I go away, I take the caravan, but on this trip, this is going to be my accommodation. This is going to be interesting. So if you're looking for a holiday that's a little bit different, away from the crowds, this might be right up your alley. So while I run the intro, go down and hit that subscribe button and the bell next to it, and that'll let you know when I've uploaded another video. We spent last night at the Mount Augustus Caravan Park. This is really a nice place. There's a nice patch of green grass to put your tent on and plenty of room for caravans. Great clean little toilet block with super hot water for those cold nights. A campus kitchen with a few basics like a sink with hot water, a little fridge, a couple of barbecues. I'm not sure if that gas stove is part of it or if it's just somebody else's. The office has a small shop with a few basics like bread and milk and ice creams. The usual different grades of on-site rooms. All this within a stone's throw of Mount Augustus. It's looking down on us as we prepare to take on the challenge of climbing it. Well, we're not doing too bad, half an hour late. Something we haven't really been able to master yet is leaving on time. I've left my car at the campsite here at, where are we again? Mount Augustus Caravan Park, because we're bumming a lift. We're in Nathan's brand new Outlander all-wheel drive. We're going to give that a bit of a go right. And, oh, did anyone bring the map? Yeah, I meant to bring mine. Handy to know where you're going. So we're going out this morning. We're going to go and do the big walk that goes to the top of the hill. It's listed as being about 6 to 8 hours, and to get up there and back. Although the woman in the caravan park this morning said most of the people do it in about 4 hours. So we'll see where we fit in, if we even make it all the way to the top. But while we're in Nathan's car, let's have a chat to Nathan and see what he thinks about it. As I said, I think this is about 3 months old. We've done probably something like about 800 kilometres of dirt, and we just interrupted him cleaning the dirt dust off the dash. In the bush, he's worried about the dust. Could be worse. The other day when he was pumping his mattress up, I thought he had the vacuum cleaner out. Anyway, Nathan, so how's your new car going? What do you reckon about it so far, as handling the dirt roads compared to bitumen roads?
Yeah, it's handled pretty well actually. I've left it in just a normal drive and seems to like the gravel quite well.
Much dust coming inside?
Get a little bit of dust, but that's probably because I'm following 2 cars all the time, so there's quite a bit of dust out there in that respect. But normally there wouldn't be much dust at all coming in.
Any problems you had with it in any way?
Had a little niggle yesterday, but that was just, I think it was just some dirt on the back wheel. But other than that, it's been running pretty good.
You've been doing well on fuel though, because what we filled up in Gascoyne Junction, and then we've done about 300 and just a little over 300 kilometres yesterday, and you went down to, what did you go down to?
Well, I got 365k since I last refueled, and I'm down to half a tank.
So that's not bad. It's pretty good fuel economy, and it's a 4-cylinder 2.4. So and you've, not that you're carrying too much stuff, but you quite comfortably got your gear in here, so that's not bad.
Yeah, no, I'm quite happy with it. It was a bit of a choice of vehicles, had a few to choose from, and yeah, settled on this one because it just seems to tick all the boxes.
Yeah, just to talk about a little bit between all-wheel drive and four-wheel drive. They're not the same thing. Many years ago, I came across a person who bought he was talked into an all-wheel drive. He went in to go get a four-wheel drive, and he was talked into an all-wheel drive, and took it out to the sand dunes and promptly got bogged because it's not what he thought it was. He didn't really know the difference. Now, these days, I've talked to a couple of people with all-wheel drives, and they reckon they go reasonably well in sand, like on the beach and that. You probably wouldn't want to go into the sand dunes and that, but sort of for general beach driving, light sort of boggy sand, they seem to go quite well these days, so they've improved over the years. But they don't have the ground clearance of a normal four-wheel drive, and you certainly couldn't go do rock climbing and stuff like that if that's the sort of thing you wanted to do. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't get an all-wheel drive, but they're certainly a lot better now than what they were in the past. Nothing you want to add?
No, that's it. All good.
All right, well, our next stop's going to be somewhere around the back of the rock here, and we'll start our mammoth hike to the top. Mount Augustus is the world's biggest rock, 2.5 times bigger than Ayers Rock. It's about 715 metres above sea level. The walk starts out as a Class 4, then in the middle it changes for a little bit to a Class 5. This is the highest level you can get in difficulty, before changing back to Class 4 until about the last 300 metres when it turns into mountain goat country. To be honest, we started out a bit late, at around 9 AM. You wouldn't want to be starting any later than that. We were told on our arrival to the caravan park that the week before they had to start a search party for a lady that got lost on the climb. You need to sign into the caravan park office stating your estimated start and finish times so they know when to start looking for you. It's that serious. This is a serious walk, this one. It starts out as a Class 4 and there's a section in the middle that's a Class 5. But because it is a serious walk, I've upgraded my footwear. I've gone away from my rock climbing thongs and I've put proper shoes on. When we left the caravan park, there wasn't a breath of wind, but up here on the mountain, it's blowing a gale, and it's cold. Later on in the day, we'd be wishing for that cool breeze. The first part of the climb was pretty easy, and we covered a lot of ground pretty quick. As we gained altitude, we could start to see a bit of the surrounding area. After about 30 minutes, the terrain changed to being more steeper and rockier. But we pressed on, following the blue dots, only to stop occasionally to check the view. After about 1 hour we came to a rest area with a bench. This is where Nathan tapped out. Good effort mate to get this far. We left him with a handheld radio and a plan to check in every 30 minutes, and we pressed on. Then there was 5. We're now into the Class 5 part of the climb. It's important to make sure you take time to stop and take in some water. If it's hot and you don't, then you may be carried off the mountain in a body bag. Keep your fluids up. At this point, about 45 minutes later, Belinda was having trouble breathing, mostly because of a touch of the flu, so she tapped out, and Deb also returned back to the bench with Nathan. Then there were 3, and we pressed on. Land now, and it's getting hard through the lack of oxygen because we're so high now. The oxygen is draining out. It really sucks the life out of you. That's right, try and store as much oxygen as I can. About 2 hours on, it was time to stop for lunch. Well, we've been going for about, 3 weeks now. Decided to stop and have some lunch. We've made it to the next leg, which is the end of the Class 5 part of the climb. It's supposed to get a lot smoother now. Go back to a Class 4, it's supposed to be fairly flat. Apparently some people coming past were telling us. And in the last 300 metres it gets a bit tough again there. But we've probably climbed up, I reckon, somewhere between 1,000 and 1,500 feet above the plains level down there. So we're quite high. Still don't need to have oxygen. We're still doing good with that. I'm pretty buggered. I've just about had enough, I think. I don't know, we'll see how this next section goes, and we'll see if I can keep going, because I've still got to get down yet. But yeah, we'll see how we go. So we'll keep pushing on. After lunch, Jacinta tapped out. Then there were 2, and we pressed on. After being embarrassed by a 6-year-old bouncing her way down the hill, and spurred on by a couple of blokes that said the end of the tough stuff wasn't far away, we pressed on. just had a moment of bliss. And coming along the track here, we looked up and we saw this view out here and we thought, oh, we must be coming to the top of it. And then we realised the track went off to the left hand side and there's still more to go. So we'll see how we go. That's where we've come through. And through there, through that gap in the hill. And along the top of that, well not top, along the edge of that hill there. And then we looked out that way and thought we'd made it to the end, but then we found the track that come down this way. It's coming up this hill here now. Well, you know, to be honest, I didn't think I was going to make it. But it took us 4 hours, but we're here. 715 metres above the plains here at Mount Augustus. It's an epic journey. A long rest, and then we've got to go back down again. But man, what a view. I'm tired.